stories or anything scary, since this is supposed to be relaxation. So I'm gonna try my best to do that. I was going to browse the internet anyways, because there's this podcast that I am obsessed with, and this is the reason why I'm even making this video. But there's this podcast that I've been listening to, and it's amazing. It's two Australian guys. I believe it's two Australian guys. But it's pretty much a podcast about like legends and lores and theories, and just like opening your mind to like interesting things and just stories that they've come upon, either through, passerbys or Reddit. For instance, Reddit is like a cesspool of just really weird things, but I love Reddit. I live for Reddit. So yeah, there's just like a really cool podcast to listen to. I listen to them anytime I leave the house, and it's always something to look forward to, because I don't want to listen to every episode in just like one day. I want to, savor each episode. But yeah, they're just really highly intelligent Australians. I love their accent, and just the topics that they bring to the table are super cool. Yeah, they do their research. So anyways, but this is the podcast Mysterious Universe. Now you can find them on Spotify. You can also find them on iTunes. What else? They actually have their own website. It's mysteriousniverse.org. I have it pulled up. My laptop is right there, so if you see me looking this way, that's my laptop. So yeah, they're just super cool. The last podcast that I listened to, they were talking about the missing 411. And a guy by the name of Daniel Pilatus, I believe, he wrote a book about it, and it's just stories about people who have, been missing, never been found, in like national parks and just like places of wildlife, places where they're in the middle of nowhere pretty much, and just, how they came to become missing, and just, I guess, his theories, and it's pretty cool. So yeah, I told you guys I would talk about things that aren't scary, and I'm talking about missing people, but they have, let me just show you, some of their stories are pretty interesting. I don't know if there's any Bigfoot believers out there. I don't know if anybody's watching me who is a Bigfoot believer, but But yeah, there's this one. Bigfoot expert says accident blamed on Sasquatch is credible. And you can, click on the story and read more about it. There's rare deep sea octopuses seen wearing jellyfish corpses as masks. So, some of them are factual. And I take it that's one of the more factual ones. Then there's another Mayan statue depicting an alien humanoid discovered. And psychoactive drugs and bizarre journeys to alternate dimensions. Historian claims 1st century coin shows image of Jesus, and it actually shows pictures too. It shows images. More unsettling volcanic activity throughout Italy. Spinach leaves used to grow. Spinach leaves used to grow a human heart. That is crazy. Virtual lemonade is coming soon to a stand near you. That sounds kind of crazy, but I guess you can send a digital copy of the lemonade that you've made across the world to a friend, and they can essentially drink the same identical glass that you're drinking, so you guys can drink the same thing at the same time, on the other side of the world. If that's something you're into. Let's see what else. Hunt for Tasmanian tiger moves to Cape York after sightings. And again, there's images, which makes it all that much more appealing to click on. And, I mean, they have a lot of course, UFO stuff, alien stuff, things like that. So, you guys should definitely check out that podcast. I don't know, they're so entertaining, and they crack me up sometimes, and, it's not all about conspiracy theories. You actually learn a lot, so, yeah. Okay, so, this is just gonna be a very casual video. I don't know about you guys, but I love just surfing the net for, like, random things. Fake news, no. So, let's see. I also wanted to tell you one conspiracy theory that has shook my world like I'm shook. Not in that way. Like I said, nothing is really scary. Let me see if I can pull it up. Okay, so my brother, he's like me. He looks up like the weirdest things and is always sending me these links. And sometimes I'm not, interested in it, but this one, I don't know if you guys remember the Berenstain Bears. Well, this is how they spell it now. So, this is how they spell Berenstain Bears, okay? And the whole conspiracy theory about it is that a lot of people, including myself, are very confused because to us it was always spelled like this. Berenstain, like Albert Einstein. So it's Stain now, not Stein. You see what I'm saying there? Okay, so you're like, okay. Just in case you guys don't know who the Berenstain Bears are, let me show you an image of them. But they were known for their books, their literature, and they were just normal bears that, could talk and teach us lessons, teach us how to be moral. Let's see. Berenstain. Okay. So, these are the Berenstain Bears. So, that is the Berenstain Bears. Do you guys remember these guys? Yeah, they were pretty popular. So, let me, yeah, my stool is super squeaky, sorry. Let me read you this. It is titled The Berenstain Bears Conspiracy Theory That Has Convinced the Internet That There Are Parallel Universes. So it sea critters are hands down some of the most beloved children's literature characters of the modern age. Who among us hasn't learned a valuable, if not a little heavy-handed lesson from brother and sister bear? The bears taught us such very lessons as, you should stop being a little greedy, you know what? And if you bite your nails, you are a gross, disgusting person who deserves to be a pariah among your family. That's a little extreme. But, okay, so the theory started with a tweet. I believe the tweet was from this rapper. Run the Jewels rapper / music producer, lmao, I guess. And his tweet read, "I always figured something would eventually break me mentally and emotionally. I never thought it would be the Berenstain Bears." Now, this is how people are writing their name now, because no one is sure how to pronounce these bears' names, okay? So it's spelled like this. With the A abbreviated. So, I don't know if you can see that. But, yeah, everyone doesn't even know what to think. But, so, the Berenstain Bears theory has been around for a few years, but it exploded last week when Run the Jewels rapper / music producer went on a tweeting spree about it. Okay, so, unlike many other conspiracy theories, the doctrine of the Berensteins seems to be gaining traction due to the fact that readers can take a side. There's Team Stein and Team Stain, and some of the people misremembering the facts, whatever they think that fact is. See that misremembrance as proof of a different and possibly darker timeline. So, there's just several theories on this. So there's one, let me see. This is the interesting conspiracy theory. Like all complex and important issues, you must first understand the history if you want to understand the theory, and what a long and enchanted history the Berensteinians have. The first time someone noticed the bear's attempt to warn us was back in 2009 on a Dreadlock dedicated forum. A user by the name of Burke posted in Dreadlock Truth asking why the pronunciation of his favorite childhood books has changed. In these days, no one grasped the issue at hand and the severity of the bear's true message. Other users just offered solutions that the Berenstein name sounds Jewish, and the change could have been a result of neo-Nazi aggression. The theory remained dormant for a number of years before it popped up on the humorous website The Communist Dance Party in a lengthy 2011 post. Although the words were written in jest, the writer, the false prophet, blows the whole Berenstain Bears theory open and relates it to the butterfly effect. This is a quote, okay. At some point between the years 1986 and 2011, someone traveled back in time and inadvertently altered the timeline of human history so that the Berenstain Bears somehow became the Berenstain Bears, he wrote. This is why everyone remembers the name incorrectly. It was Berenstein when we were kids, but at some point when we weren't paying attention, someone went back in time and rippled our life experience ever so slightly. That is why all of the books are Berenstain, the show is Berenstain, everything, the images read Berenstain. Because if you change history, well, it's going to be Berenstain. There's not going to be, anything from the past that's going to read Berenstein, right? So we won't have any proof. Berenstain, Stain, or Stein, Stein, like Albert Einstein, Stein. I personally have always pronounced it Berenstain, so that's why this post really got me in the feels, you know. And I don't know if I can pull it up, but let's see. It's really strange because when I was messaging my brother and I was writing to him and I put Baron Stain and spell check said that was spelled incorrectly, you know, it gave me that red little wiggle and I was shook. I was like, oh my gosh, does spell check know something? And so, let me see if I can pull that up. I don't know if you can see that, hopefully you can, but I spelled it the supposed right way, Berenstain, and I got the infamous red wiggle, meaning that it's spelled incorrectly, and then I spelled it Berenstain, and voila, no red wiggle. So, okay, I think I figured out the mystery. Yeah, so I thought that was pretty interesting. So let's see what else. Oh my gosh, you can probably hear the birds. We have 2 birds, and they're not singing, but they're just moving around. Okay, let's see. I copied a couple from Reddit and put it in my notes that I felt like I could read, like it wasn't too crazy. But nothing beats the Berenstain Bears, in my opinion. If they were part of your childhood, then you would totally understand. This was a funny one because everyone knows that the Circuit City was so lame. So I could totally understand this one, but okay. Someone on Reddit said the Circuit City wasn't ever interested in turning a profit, so they must have been a front for some criminal enterprise. Big box stores tend to inhabit prime real estate. Circuit City was always located in a second-tier location. It was never on a main boulevard by a large shopping center, but tucked around a corner a few miles from everything else, which is so true. Big box stores make profit on moving merchandise in quantity, yet Circuit City always had the widest aisles, which means less square footage product to sell. Big box stores typically place items that either a large number of people are interested in buying or ones that are splurge purchases. Yet Circuit City always seemed to have antiquated TVs, washing machines, or vacuum cleaners at the front. Like, those are the big purchases that not many people buy, but okay. Who goes to a big box store and walks away with a washing machine that they didn't already want? you like sports fans, there's this one. For the last 20 years, we have heard rumblings about the 1985 NBA draft being rigged in order to allow the New York Knicks to get the first pick, and with it, Patrick Ewing. Speculation has been tossed around about the method possibly used, with the frozen envelope method being the most popular. It has always been kind of an inside joke where everyone said Stern rigged the lottery for New York, but I don't think anyone ever really believed it until now. Thanks to the power of YouTube, some brave soul has found and posted an unedited version of the 1985 draft lottery, and a little update. That video has since been terminated by YouTube. Just saying. In it, you can clearly see that the guy who places the envelope in the giant spinning glass basketball hooper places each envelope gently in, except for one in the middle, which he inexplicably slams hard against the side of the envelope. Then when Stern pulls out the envelope for the first pick, he grabs the three and then looks down into the hooper at the envelopes before selecting the one that would have the first pick. For every other envelope, he doesn't look down. He doesn't even look at the envelope after picking it. Could this conspiracy of all conspiracies actually be true? And then it says to take a look at the video, but it's long gone. Then there's this one. In the early 1980s, several schools around the country began offering students juice breaks. The schools would sell for a very cheap price individual servings of fruit juice. In actuality, this fruit juice was laced with experimental doses of Ritalin-like drugs, and the schools recorded student reactions to the medication. Once it was discovered that students were easier to control while under the influence of these drugs, there was a surge in the numbers of children diagnosed of having ADD and ADHD. Let's see. Some schools and big pharmaceutical companies conspired to control students and to make big profits. Pretty much. Let's see. This one I found interesting. I loved Robin Williams. I was a huge fan. I'm sure all of you guys were as well. This is about his passing. And it says, once Robin Williams passed away, conspiracy theorists immediately exposed a complex plot that claimed Williams was assassinated by the Illuminati. Their only evidence was a Family Guy episode. Let me know if you guys are a fan of Family Guy. Minutes before Williams' death was announced, BBC aired an old episode of Family Guy where Peter Griffin can turn anything he touches into Robin Williams. Peter tries to shoot himself, but the gun turns into Williams. The theorists point to the scene as an implied message that the BBC's head of programming must have known about Williams' death. While the timing of the broadcast is odd, it becomes less so when you realize that Family Guy features half a dozen celebrity appearances every episode. So according to The Mirror, I'm not sure if The Mirror is a blog or a magazine or newspaper, but the episode aired in the UK at 11:25 p.m. with the news about the actor's death breaking at around 11:50 p.m. So very close, but I do believe in coincidences. This next one is actually about the film The Shining. I love that film. Such a classic horror film. And here it says, Stanley Kubrick's films are full of conspiracy theories. The Shining alone has 3 of them, and this one proposes that the 1980 classic horror film is really just Kubrick's way of admitting that the moon landing by Apollo real. Theorists believe that this was Kubrick's way of admitting that the landing on the moon was also not real. Just some interesting conspiracy theories. I got me some lemonade. I love lemonade. I had to take a little break because the neighbors' dogs were barking so loud. So, and where I'm filming, I don't know, I feel like the noises really penetrate more. But I just wanted to change it up a little bit, so I'm just sitting at our bar, which is now really just like a little coffee unit, you know, it's a place to make coffee, and I have this little like 3-in-1 to make like breakfast, and yeah, so it's not a bar. This is where my mom stays. This is her little area, so okay, so this one, I was debating on whether to even mention this article because, you know, again, I want this to be relaxing. I hope at least my voice is relaxing, but I thought this one was so interesting, and I didn't want to go too morbid, but I don't think you guys would mind. But this is an article from clickhole.com, and it's about Adam Sandler. And the dogs are at it again, I think. No, yes, maybe. So the first one is Wacko Siege. In the wake of the 1993 tragedy, which involved Branch Davidian leader David Koresh and 75 other people perishing during an FBI raid on the cult's compound. I remember that story. Few knew that a young Adam Sandler had predicted the incident in his stand-up act. Tapes now reveal Sandler would often spend several minutes on stage repeatedly uttering the phrases, "Something's coming to Wacko, something dark." Now, can't say for sure if he really, you know, murmured those words, but number 2, the death of Princess Diana. The infamous 1997 car crash that claimed the life of Diana, Princess of Wales, shocked the world. But hardcore Sandler fans immediately made the connection to one seemingly out-of-place scene from 1996, Happy Gilmore, in which Sandler looks directly into the camera and says, "Our queen's eldest, the beautiful flower, will wilt under a Parisian bridge." 3. BP oil spill. In 2010, a massive oil rig explosion resulted in the discharge of nearly 5 million barrels of petroleum into the Gulf of Mexico, as was strangely foretold on a 2005 episode of Late Night with Conan O'Brien, when guest Adam Sandler's t-shirt simply read, "BP oil spill in 5 years. This sounds so fake. Okay. Number 4, Haitian earthquake. The UN estimates that 222,570 people were killed and 300,572 injured during this tragedy, which are only slightly off from Sandler's funny people estimates of 220,000 deaths and 400,000 injuries. Number 5, Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. Most recently, the case of the missing Malaysian passenger flight on March 8th, 2014, almost too perfectly echoed the lines from a 1993 Saturday Night Live Opera Man sketch. "A missing plane, it's from Malaysia. Make me insane, this will all make sense in due time." And then the last little note, it says, "Clearly Adam has a knack for divining when bad things will happen." Those were all of the tragedies that apparently Adam Sandler predicted. I don't really believe anything from the ClickPoint website, to be honest, but I thought the article was kind of interesting, whether or not it's true. guys also requested to have the Blue Yeti back, and so the Blue Yeti is back in business. I actually did use the Blue Yeti when I filmed my Southern roleplay, which was really fun. I hope you guys liked the concept of it. I don't know, I felt like I wanted to do something a little different, so that's why I decided to just do like a fake Facebook Live session. And there was a couple of you guys that actually thought that it was real, and I do apologize for that, but it was completely fake. It was not ever live. I just actually found the Facebook Live logo on a PDF form, or is it a PGA? I forget, but yeah, and I just added it to my video, and I was good to go. So, yeah, I hope that all you guys have been having an amazing weekend. I probably will have this video up on Sunday, today's Saturday. So yeah, so I will see you guys in the next video. And as always, love you,